If you're not self-disciplined in the sense of knowing what's important to you and why you want it and what those steps are, then you will be easily distracted and therefore you will never get to step 6. Hi everyone, it's Koach Kalloo here with another video to talk about we are just 6 steps away from achieving our goals. Yep. Just 6 steps. Before we get into that, I just want to remind you, hit subscribe so that way you don't miss out on anything, and hit your notification button so then that way when you hit that bell, I could ring your bell. No, that wasn't. Okay. Welcome again. I want to talk about we're just 6 steps away from achieving our goals. And for those who don't know, I really want to do a lot of videos that really just talks about the things that I work with my clients on or prospects or things that come up as a coach every day when people are talking about their business, their leadership, or their life. These things are just common things. I just felt that it was necessary to kind of put it out there to maybe help someone else who may be going through the same situation or struggle. So here's the 3 things I want to address when it comes to we're just 6 steps away from achieving our goals. And number 1 is a bold step forward. Number 2 is master of self-discipline. And number 3 is more the fear of the unknown. And so let's just jump right into it. Number 1, a bold step forward. The thing about 6 steps is, I remember reading this article. I was on my way to Ireland at the time, and I got the magazine. And I had all these great plans right on the plane. I'm going to read this, I'm going to do this, I'm going to create this thing, 8-hour flight, good to go. And of course, I didn't really accomplish much on that flight because you got tired, you watch a movie, next thing, that to another. But I do remember reading this article that was in Entrepreneur, and the editor wrote this thing about the 6 steps. And so if you want more information, let me know down below and I'll be able to give you that article tag. But it was really good. And in there, he really talked about we're 6 steps away from any goals, no matter what goals we have or want to achieve, we're really just 6 steps away. However, I wanted to add more to that there's a different spin to that by saying, yes, I agree. And the first step of a bold step forward is step 1. For all of these things, all of these steps, as much as we know what the 6th step is, which may be in your case, Rome, right? I often say that to my clients. What does Rome look like? Now let's create the path to get to Rome. For a lot of people, the 6th step is make a lot of money, do this, achieve this, accredited this, get this, do that, right? That's the 6th step. But we miss out on the first step, which is the bold step forward. It's the first step. Sometimes we have the 6 steps in mind, but we are not taking any steps. I think I've read somewhere, someone else said it way smarter than me, that said, there's no elevator to success. We have to take the stairs. Before we can get into all those other steps, one of the main things we have to understand is before we get to step 6, step 1 is really the beginning. You cannot see step 2 or 3 or 4 or 5, right? You cannot see those steps unless you started at step 1. Step 1 is crucial for that, right? Because when you get to step 1, think about all the things that you've done before. You had to take the first step. Then you saw step 2 a little bit better. The things that you imagined step 3 or 4 to be, it didn't end up to become that because it actually required you to be on those additional steps. And that's the whole idea. The first bold step is step 1. That requires you. Second is mastering self-discipline. You're going to have lots of distraction on your path to Rome or whatever your final goal is. You'll have many of those distractions. And it's not people being deliberate to distract you. It's just those things happen. But if you're not disciplined by knowing what is step 1, then you get to step 2, knowing when to adjust, and then to get to step 3, you're going to easily be distracted. So you're going to also still be at the first part of the starting line without going to the finish line if you're constantly being distracted. So self-discipline is going to help you by being very clear why you want it and what is step 1 and then step 2, and actually disciplined to go through those different steps. You're going to see those things very clearly if at least you have that discipline. I'm not saying don't be distracted. I'm not saying you're being pulled in this 1 or 2 different directions that maybe make sense if you're being flexible. However, don't constantly be distracted. If you're not self-disciplined in the sense of knowing what's important to you and why you want it and what those steps are, then you will be easily distracted and therefore you will never get to step 6, right? Number 3, the fear of the unknown. like most things, we don't know what's on the other side. A lot of times we'd like to avoid ourselves that pain to gain pleasure, whatever the case may be, or to be better from yesterday. But we can't get there if we still stay in that comfort zone and not do anything. Here's the thing I learned about comfort zone. It's very nice there. We feel good about it. It's common to us. We know it very well, but nothing grows in a comfort zone. Growth is not in a comfort zone. So you have to be able to get into the unknown. And that's what we fear, right? I mean, that is the definition, isn't it? It's the fear of the unknown. We don't know what it's going to look like. Step 1, step 2, step 3 is going to give you more information. It gives you access to information that you can make a better decision on. And that's the whole idea. Sometimes when we take a step and realize, okay, this is not working, take another step. And that may work and the other may not work. But if we stay on the first step and we're not interested in going to the unknown, then we will never know truly. But you're not going to be happy with where you are. And then you may start ruminating about how things are hard or stuck and feeling sorry for yourself, right? But for you to get to any goal, you need to know it's a 6-step process. Here's the thing. What happens when you're at step number 6? Are you done? Maybe there's another step. Maybe you actually don't get to step 6, but you realize it's just a constant growth. The Rome that we think in our head is there. When we get there, we realize there's something else. Always dream for more. Always dream for more. I like the expression of dream big and focus small. Your focus small is about the steps, doing those steps. So share with me, please, and let me know what is the goal that you have in mind. How has this worked for you? Or do you find the step work for you? Do you find that your next goal is actually only 6 steps away? I'd love to hear perspective. And how do you get beyond the fear of the unknown? How do you actually get more discipline? What do you do? What are some tactics that you actually do to create that awareness of self-discipline or condition yourself to be a little bit more self-disciplined? I'd love to know. Koach Kalloo here. Best wishes for life, leadership, and business. Until next time.